Bloodsport once again teamed up with Peacemaker. The two men transformed dramatically. One became an actor-turned-president of the United States. The other became Britain's first-ever black prime minister. However, they never expected someone would dare to target them. Air Force One tragically crashed again. The two leaders narrowly survived and embarked on a hilarious four-season journey of escape. Several days earlier, in the small town of Buñol in Spain, locals joyously celebrated the Tomato Festival. Red tomatoes flew through the air while laughter and cheers echoed everywhere. Among the crowd were people appearing to be ordinary reporters, but in reality they were undercover agents from the American CIA and British MI6. They had secretly infiltrated the festival to execute a joint mission, which was to capture Russian arms dealer Victor. Each agent clearly had their own assigned area from where they closely monitored the crowd. Suddenly, a suspicious figure caught their attention. The technical expert immediately initiated facial recognition. Unfortunately, due to the target concealing crucial facial features, the system failed to identify him. Just at this moment, team leader Julie shockingly realized that multiple suspicious individuals were appearing around her at once. Another unexpected vehicle suddenly entered the scene, raising Julie's suspicion even more. The technician upstairs was about to investigate further, but abruptly sensed an imminent threat. Immediately, all team members except Julie were swiftly killed by enemies who had secretly set an ambush. A blonde woman, along with a technical expert, killed two agents and captured the command vehicle attempting to upload data into the internal network. Julie rushed over intending to stop them, but was blocked by an enemy. The two engaged in fierce combat, constantly shifting positions, making it impossible for the sniper to accurately aim. In the chaos, the sniper mistakenly shot his own teammate. By the time he died, the technical expert had already completed the upload. Julie realized, too late, and was suddenly attacked from the side. Shot and badly wounded, Julie collapsed onto the ground, her survival uncertain. Meanwhile, American President William had already arrived in London, England, for a brief official visit before heading to Italy for the NATO summit. However, British Prime Minister Sam was in an extremely unpleasant mood. Having held office continuously for 6 years, Sam deeply despised William, who had risen from a mere movie star to president. Ironically, William's popularity surged dramatically after his films became huge hits. His approval ratings had already surpassed Sam's. Early in the morning, as Sam was exercising, his assistant informed him of Julie's failed operation in Spain. 7 agents from the CIA and MI6 had been killed, and Julie was missing, presumed dead. Hearing this news, Sam's mood further darkened. The next day, outside Buckingham Palace, countless supporters enthusiastically gathered, waving banners in support of William. His popularity clearly overshadowed even that of Prime Minister Sam. Although William's wife advised him to build good relations with Sam, William still harbored resentment. During his presidential campaign, Sam had openly supported William's opponent Hack, even sharing fish and chips with him. No matter how his advisors attempted to persuade him, William still felt disrespected by Sam. Soon afterward, William's secretary informed him that the Spanish mission had ended disastrously. At the same moment, Sam was also discussing this matter with his advisors. During the press conference, William tried hard to showcase himself, prompting an irritated Sam to repeatedly interrupt him. In the Q&A session, reporters asked only trivial gossip questions, with William cheerfully engaging in self-mocking banter. Increasingly annoyed, Sam directly selected Jack to ask a question. Predictably, Jack immediately brought up the failed Spanish mission, demanding to know if the two national leaders could actually apprehend the extremist Victor. Compared to Sam's diplomatic and cautious response, William's reply was extremely theatrical, resembling dialogue from an action movie hero confronting his villain. Jack continued by asking about the rumored Echelon surveillance system, questioning whether their government secretly monitored citizens' emails and video conferences. Faced with such pointed questions, both leaders awkwardly dodged and muddled through the issue. Afterward, the matter quickly trended online, causing William immense frustration. Enraged, he confronted Sam fiercely. Sam refused to indulge William's anger, emphasizing his own preference for genuine unity rather than the superficial popularity and online likes William sought. Their secretaries hurriedly intervened, urging both leaders to calm down, given their poor media performance earlier that day. They urgently needed a strategy to convince the public that no tensions existed between their two countries. At that moment, Sam's secretary suggested they travel together on America's Air Force One to attend the NATO summit. Publicly appearing friendly and taking joint photographs would naturally dispel rumors of discord. Although reluctant, due to the current political situation, both leaders grudgingly agreed. Meanwhile, at Victor's secret mansion, Victor furiously fired several shots from the sniper rifle used previously, clearly enraged at the costly elite sniper's incompetence, nearly causing mission failure. Rather than directly shooting the sniper, Victor violently knocked him to the ground, then poured boiling water down his throat. The next day, under intense media scrutiny, William and Sam boarded Air Force One. Although their hearts still harbored deep resentment, they appeared friendly and united in front of the cameras. However, neither expected the imminent deadly disaster awaiting them once airborne. Shortly after takeoff on board Air Force One, the kitchen staff delivered meals to the cockpit area. Suddenly, they launched a surprise attack, swiftly overpowering the unsuspecting crew members. Immediately afterward, they inserted malicious software, allowing their accomplices to pinpoint the exact location of Air Force One. Meanwhile, William and Sam began arguing heatedly once more. Sam angrily pointed out he had struggled his entire life receiving no privileged advantages. He had to work 3 jobs just to afford university tuition before joining the military, and making extraordinary efforts to reach his current position. In contrast, William easily rose to power and fame through merely starring in a few movies. However, William offered no rebuttal, instead, solemnly gazing out the window. Sensing William's expression, Sam also quickly turned to look outside, only to witness a fighter jet clearly targeting their aircraft. The situation worsened as internal sabotage severed all communication lines, leaving them isolated. Before they could react, the enemy jet launched an attack. As both aircraft exchanged fire, an infiltrator disguised as kitchen staff entered the corridor. Without the timely intervention of their bodyguards, William and Sam would have been killed instantly. Despite their efforts, the situation rapidly deteriorated. Under relentless missile strikes, Air Force One's tail section was destroyed, causing violent tremors and panic among the passengers. Although the pilot swiftly adjusted the course, another missile destroyed one of the engines before he could fully evade. Soon after, all cockpit personnel were killed. Thus, Air Force One tragically fell once more. Observing the situation, the infiltrator hurriedly ran towards the parachute area, grabbing one parachute, and then setting fire to the remaining ones. This left only 2 intact parachutes for the bodyguards to rescue the 2 national leaders. Recognizing they were currently flying over Belarusian airspace, the bodyguards instructed both leaders upon landing to immediately head toward a designated safe house in Poland. Without hesitation, the bodyguards forcefully pushed William and Sam out of the plane. Successfully deploying their parachutes, they landed safely in a dense forest. Shortly afterward, news quickly spread worldwide, falsely reporting the crash and deaths of both leaders. The United States and Britain urgently convened internal emergency meetings to discuss succession plans. In America, the vice president immediately took the oath to serve as acting president. However, both leaders had actually survived. Thanks to previous military training, Sam skillfully landed on the ground, while William experienced a much more embarrassing situation, hanging awkwardly from a large tree. William initially wanted to wait for rescue teams, but Sam quickly dismissed the idea. Belarus would undoubtedly control the crash site and refuse entry to any foreign aircraft. British and American forces would never risk breaching enemy lines simply to recover their bodies. Both nations would simply assume no survivors. Sam immediately knocked William's phone away, emphasizing their position must not be exposed, or they would fall into enemy hands. Thus, without further delay, the 2 leaders began their journey on foot. Currently, they were still 24 kilometers away from the Polish safe house, which could be reached by early morning if they kept moving. Meanwhile, back in the United States, the acting president authorized critical updates to the ECHELON surveillance system. Immediately after authorization, Victor's technical expert exploited the opportunity, swiftly seizing control of the system. As William and Sam continued walking, they unexpectedly stumbled upon a farmhouse where several teenagers gathered in the yard, along with a parked car nearby. The 2 leaders quietly approached, intending to steal the vehicle, but accidentally revealed themselves and were quickly noticed. Embarrassingly, the British Prime Minister and the American President ended up being beaten by a group of teenagers, which would surely amuse their political opponents greatly. Fortunately, Sam, who had military training, quickly regained control of the situation. Just as both sides prepared for another round, an elderly lady authoritatively fired a gun into the air. Everyone immediately halted their actions as the terrified teens scattered and fled. Sam lied, claiming they were Canadians intending to cross the border for sandboarding. The elderly lady kindly offered to take them herself. Soon afterward, the two national leaders found themselves riding in a sheep-drawn cart. As they approached a border checkpoint, the elderly lady signaled them to hide inside the cart. When guards climbed aboard for inspection, nearly discovering their presence, she quickly proposed exchanging a lamb to facilitate passage. Thus, the guards happily accepted the offer and allowed them through. Later that night, the three finally reached Warsaw in Poland. Clearly, the elderly lady already recognized their identities, but chose to remain discreet. William and Sam promptly arrived at the safe house, gaining entry after verification. Unexpectedly, Victor, who now controlled the echelon system, immediately became aware of their arrival. His assistant subtly suggested abandoning further risky pursuits, as they had already achieved their objectives. Victor, however, still enraged over his previously destroyed factory, stubbornly insisted both leaders pay the ultimate price. He swiftly ordered his assassins to head towards Warsaw to eliminate them. Meanwhile, William and Sam met Sean, the safe house supervisor, who turned out to be William's devoted fan. Sean was thrilled seeing his idol alive and well. However, Sean quickly informed them of the echelon infiltration and leaked classified documents revealing decades of covert NATO operations among member nations. Back in America, an emergency meeting convened as leaked files severely damaged trust among NATO allies who discovered their partners had secretly conducted operations against them. An internal crisis rapidly emerged within NATO, clearly orchestrated to destabilize the organization using the ECHELON system. William's secretary privately expressed suspicion towards the acting president, whose campaign slogan prioritized America above all else, perfectly aligning with NATO's collapse. The acting president, however, fiercely denied these allegations, understanding fully that NATO's dissolution would destroy the critical defense barrier against authoritarian threats, severely destabilizing Europe and surrounding regions. With this statement, the secretary fell silent. William wanted to immediately notify the embassy, publicly revealing their survival, but Sam strongly objected, arguing the internal traitor remained unidentified, and thus their location must remain confidential. Sean naturally sided with his idol, but discovered the safe house's phone lines had been severed. At that very moment, Victor's assassins appeared on security monitors, rapidly approaching the safe house. Sean immediately opened a secret room filled with weapons and ammunition. The three men quickly armed themselves heavily. Sean explained the detailed evacuation route, instructing William and Sam to punch a specific poster on the wall to activate the hidden escape mechanism. Just as Sean finished speaking, the assassins fiercely breached the entrance. Sean passionately rushed forward, carrying a display screen to engage the enemy. Noticing the assassins preparing explosives, Sean decisively detonated his own explosives first, causing significant damage and forcing the assassins back. Observing the screen, Sean accurately shot down many attackers, impressing William and Sam deeply. Unfortunately, a female assassin discovered Sean's position, shooting and destroying his surveillance camera. Recognizing the danger, Sean swiftly retreated, but two assassins soon pursued and shot him in the back. Gravely injured, Sean bravely pulled the pin of a grenade to protect the two leaders during their escape, but still failed to stop the assassins completely. William and Sam hurriedly reached the designated poster, yet William hesitated, emotionally realizing it was a historically significant American recruitment poster from World War I. Under immense pressure, William finally punched through, activating the hidden elevator, allowing them to escape. Shockingly, more assassins waited downstairs. At the critical moment, a police car rushed onto the scene, violently knocking down the assassins. To their astonishment, Julie emerged from the vehicle, clearly alive. Evidently, Julie and Sam had known each other previously. Julie explained she had narrowly survived the earlier attack, enduring numerous hardships before finally locating them. Julie revealed Victor's motivation behind these assassination attempts was deeply personal. Victor's scientist son had developed groundbreaking nuclear fusion technology, intending to create the world's first nuclear fusion reactor. Victor had procured enriched uranium for his son's research, but America intercepted Victor's communications through Echelon, mistakenly assuming Victor planned to develop nuclear weapons. Consequently, NATO launched an assault, destroying Victor's facility and killing his son. Later, the US secretly acquired the nuclear fusion blueprints through Echelon, publicly claiming credit for the invention. Victor vowed revenge, deeply resentful of this injustice. Clearly, Victor's operations succeeded smoothly, due to a high-ranking government traitor assisting him secretly. Realizing their priority was immediate safety, Julie urgently decided they should head toward the NATO summit location nearby. The trio hurriedly boarded a train traveling directly to their destination. Unfortunately, Echelon once again intercepted their location, alerting Victor's technical expert. However, after viewing the information, the expert chose not to inform Victor. Early the next morning, the expert unexpectedly appeared, confronting William and Sam directly. Surprisingly, the expert suddenly turned against his accomplice, opening fire. Due to inexperience, he failed to deliver a fatal shot and was counterattacked, severely wounded himself. With his remaining strength, the expert explained he had been coerced by Victor into infiltrating Echelon, but now Victor had become dangerously obsessed, committing far too many atrocities. Thus, the expert decided to save William and Sam. Although uncertain who the high-level traitor was, the expert mentioned he could identify the culprit by running a tracing program through Victor's secure communication records. After conveying this critical information, the expert succumbed to his wounds. Realizing Victor likely prepared another assassination attempt at the next station, the trio immediately jumped from the moving train to escape detection. Meanwhile, the acting president of the United States met with 3 other NATO leaders, urging unity and cooperation during this crisis. He insisted all countries should increase their commitment to NATO. However, his proposal failed to gain the others' support. Trust among member countries had severely eroded after the leak of classified documents. No one was willing to maintain close partnerships with allies secretly conspiring against them. The meeting ultimately ended in tension. The impending NATO summit vote would soon determine the organization's future. Currently, 25 member countries, including Italy, already intended to dissolve NATO. The voting results the next day would be decisive. At this moment, William, Sam, and Julie reached the technical expert's secret base, successfully locating the encrypted terminal on the 5th floor. Unfortunately, Victor's assassins simultaneously arrived, surrounding the building. The trio quickly divided tasks. William assisted Julie in cracking the system's encryption, while Sam defended the entrance, buying them critical time. Sam fiercely resisted at the stairway, throwing smoke bombs and explosives, successfully repelling several attacks. Realizing the difficulty of direct assault, the assassins temporarily withdrew to adjust their strategy. Meanwhile, Julie successfully completed the program, breaking into Victor's secure communication records. To their shock, the traitor's identity was revealed to be William's own secretary. Before William could process this stunning revelation, too, steel cables suddenly pierced the wall. A helicopter immediately began dragging away the room William and Julie occupied. Unfortunately, the door jammed, trapping them inside, despite Sam's desperate rescue attempt. Just as the room was pulled free, Victor fired a rocket towards Sam, whose fate instantly became uncertain. William and Julie seized a brief opportunity and escaped onto the rooftop safely. Gazing sadly at the burning building, both felt deep sorrow. Elsewhere, Victor, believing all 3 targets were now dead, called the traitor to celebrate their success. However, immediately after the call ended, the traitor secretly ordered mercenaries to kill Victor. Alert and vigilant, Victor swiftly eliminated the mercenaries instead. Early the next morning, William contacted the acting president, revealing his survival and requesting immediate rescue. Shortly afterward, the presidential vehicle Beast arrived to pick them up. However, upon entering, they found themselves immediately threatened at gunpoint. Shockingly, the acting president himself was the true traitor, having deliberately framed William's secretary as a decoy. Victor quickly learned of this development through his spies, instructing them not to allow William and Julie to reach the NATO conference alive. At that moment, William and Julie suddenly fought back fiercely inside the vehicle, desperately struggling against their captors. Soon, numerous enemy vehicles dispatched by Victor appeared, aggressively attacking the presidential vehicle. Amid the intense struggle inside the vehicle, William managed to seize a weapon while Julie fought fiercely against the attackers. William aimed carefully, but accidentally shot and killed their driver, leaving Julie utterly speechless. Julie immediately took control and urged William to drive instead. Just as the assassins prepared heavier weapons, a fire truck suddenly rammed into them. Surprisingly, it was Sam who miraculously survived. Sam's arrival dramatically reversed the situation. He swiftly jumped aboard their vehicle, taking the driver's seat. With Sam driving, William could now assist Julie fully. Together, they successfully expelled the remaining attackers from the vehicle. However, danger persisted as Victor's assassins relentlessly pursued them. Julie, seeing Sam alive, passionately kissed him, instantly re-energizing him. Unfortunately, William accidentally activated the window controls, exposing them to the assassins' fire. Noticing the assassins preparing a rocket launcher, Julie urgently instructed Sam to accelerate, narrowly avoiding death. With the enemy still in hot pursuit, Sam sharply steered the vehicle into a narrow alley, skillfully maneuvering, using a 360-degree panoramic view. William quickly activated the car's smoke mechanism, obscuring the assassin's vision, causing one enemy car to crash. Yet one remaining assassin vehicle still chased persistently. Sam expertly performed a drifting maneuver, regaining control and heading swiftly toward the NATO conference site. William, realizing an emergency medical kit was in the vehicle, threw it forcefully at the pursuing car. The kit struck the enemy's windshield, causing them to lose control and crash explosively. Finally, free from danger, the trio successfully reached the NATO conference location, just as voting had begun. Many countries had already announced their withdrawal. Just as the acting president prepared to declare America's departure, William and Sam dramatically burst into the room, instantly capturing everyone's attention. The two passionately urged all leaders to reconsider, emphasizing NATO's vital importance and the necessity of cooperation. Division, they warned, would only empower their adversaries. Unable to remain silent, the acting president openly mocked William, accusing the public of electing a foolish actor as leader of the free world, thereby dooming the country. In his view, America required no allies who offered nothing in return, instead draining America's resources in endless NATO conflicts. Dissolving NATO, he declared, was unquestionably the correct choice. Before William could respond, a sudden bullet penetrated the acting president's head, killing him instantly. Shockingly, Victor and his assassins had infiltrated the conference. Victor coldly ordered the elimination of everyone present. Moments later, a hail of gunfire erupted violently within the conference hall. William and Sam immediately ducked behind tables and chairs for protection. Many delegates tragically fell under heavy fire. Security personnel were quickly overwhelmed, unable to effectively resist the powerful assault. Just as the situation seemed hopeless, Julie courageously charged forward, wielding an assault rifle, fiercely firing at Victor's men. Seizing this critical opportunity, Sam rapidly guided delegates to safety. At that moment, a helicopter appeared outside, clearly intending to rescue Victor. Unexpectedly, Julie displayed remarkable combat skills, swiftly eliminating multiple enemies and managing to grab Victor, pulling him away from the helicopter rope. William and Sam quickly rushed upstairs to assist her. Seeing Julie temporarily blocked by Victor's guards, she urged the two leaders to pursue Victor, immediately assuring them she could handle the situation alone. William and Sam continued chasing Victor, encountering fierce resistance along the way. Cleverly, they turned their attackers' weapons against them, swiftly overcoming each obstacle. After an intense struggle, they finally approached Victor, guns in hand. Hearing the two leaders' weapons click empty, Victor confidently moved closer, believing them defenseless. Suddenly, Victor revealed a hidden weapon, seizing William and forcing Sam to drop his gun. Holding them at gunpoint, Victor slowly retreated toward the balcony, where a helicopter waited ready for his escape. William, unwilling to spend another decade chasing Victor, desperately sought an opportunity to act. Spotting a Cupid statue nearby, Sam devised a bold plan. Both men simultaneously launched their attack. Sam charged forward, distracting Victor's attention, allowing William to swiftly throw the statue directly into the helicopter's rotor blades. Instantly damaged, the helicopter spun out of control and crashed violently, killing Victor in the explosion. Julie, meanwhile, defeated her opponent, decisively ending the immediate threat. 2 months later, NATO member nations gradually began rebuilding mutual trust. William and Sam met informally at a small street-side shop, each enjoying a serving of fish and chips, humorously intended to prevent William from harboring any lingering resentment. The story ends here. This movie incorporates abundant comedic elements, featuring two humorous lead characters, essentially uniting Peacemaker and Bloodsport. Clearly, the American president's character is inspired by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Overall, the film from start to finish is a chaotic, entertaining ride. From initially plotting against each other to desperately escaping together, the president and prime minister appeared embroiled in absurd scenarios. However, beneath its comedic exterior, the film cleverly exposes complex political maneuvering. Ultimately, the two leaders resolved the immediate crisis through playful bickering, but NATO's underlying trust issues and hidden political intrigues remain unresolved. Once ignited again, these hidden conflicts and intertwined interests will undoubtedly resurface explosively. Today's video ends here. Thank you everyone for watching. Your likes, comments, and subscriptions are our greatest encouragement. See you next time.